The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. You can hear my radio shows Monday through Friday all across the great state of Alabama from 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville, from 10 until 11 on Talk 99.5 in Birmingham, WLWI, News Radio 1440 in Montgomery, and then again at 3 o'clock on the UMP in Huntsville. With me, as always, Mecca Music. She is the CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people, smart enough not to buy her beepers in bulk from an Israeli shell company. That would not be a good move that you would want to make if you were part of a terrorist organization. God, imagine being the procurement officer for Hamas. You'd probably be in a lot of trouble right now. Anyway, Hezbollah, excuse me. Anyway, let's move on. We got a lot to get to. We've got Yaffee coming on the program, and I've got a parting shot for you. But right now, let's go ahead and get to that 2-minute warning. All right, let's get a little serious here for a moment, and then I look at what I wrote at the bottom of the screen here, so maybe not that serious. Donald Trump, once again, the target of another assassination attempt, this time on a golf course. He escaped it because of the Secret Service. Even Donald Trump would say that they saved his life here. Very important. I asked this question, is this where they get him? Sort of a play on something we've been doing on this show for quite some time. Mostly because I know Donald Trump would find that joke funny. But the reality of this is not funny at all. This is a very serious situation. And I hate to say this, but there will be another attempt. And I fear that it will be successful at one point in time. And I understand those are bold things to say, but this is seemingly something that we are trending towards. And it is a very unfortunate situation. It sounds completely insane. At the White House press conference earlier this week, we have them still referring to him as a threat to democracy and all these other things while complaining about his language. It makes absolutely no sense. Mecca, is this where they get him? Do we ever drop back on the language or anything like that? Or we're just going to keep going?
Well, for the record, I'd like to say I also don't find it funny.
Trump would. So I'm okay with it.
I don't
Trump
know
would laugh
about
at
that.
that.
I don't know
Ask
about
him when you're at the football game.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Ask him what he thinks.
Okay. Listen. Obviously, more needs to be done. There is a clear threat, and when you look about how close it has been thus far, more needs to be done.
I mean, once it was like a quarter of an inch or something.
It was, so what are they going to do? That's my question for you.
Tommy Tuberville says, like, hey, get the Navy SEALs out there, or the Army Rangers, and all these other things. I understand what he's saying.
Right.
I think they just have to divert resources. Look, one guy is sitting on a beach in Delaware. That guy just needs to stay at home. Okay, he doesn't need to be out doing that. We need to protect the current president. But this guy is actively under attack.
Under attack, and I think we are going to see more resources dedicated to
Chuck Schumer said if they have to do it, they will. They shouldn't have to do it. They have resources, and they should use them. It's wild that we're seeing this again and again. And I think what you get is copycats, people saying, "Oh, this is gettable. This is an opportunity," and I think you're going to see more of it. And look, he doesn't stop. Okay, he is not going to be stopped by this. He is going to continue going out there, and that's going to create some logistical problems.
But do you think that, yes, there will be more logistics involved. You don't think this affects his campaign?
If anything, it helps him.
Oh no, I mean as far as that iconic shot and things like that, yeah. I'm not telling that. But I mean, you as a candidate, you're getting shot at. People are. You don't think that affects you personally?
You and I both know someone who has been shot at. Mm-hmm. A politician who has been shot at, and I've seen in his eyes change his behavior.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that with Trump. I mean, a little bit at the debate or at the first night of the RNC.
Right.
He looked a little nervous, I thought, but then not since then. I don't think so. I don't think this guy is all about bluster and moving forward. Mentally, it may do something to him.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't see how that doesn't affect you, in the very core.
He's not going to change. That's just the way it is. He's not changing. All right, moving on. Let's move on and talk a little bit about Kamala Harris. Maybe she should be hiding more. Maybe that's the thing, because every time we see her out and about, while she is physically safe, you wonder a lot of other issues about her. Like, is she for real? Is she smart? I mean, do we know what she's doing here? She had another, just 2 bombs of interviews over the last week. One with a Pittsburgh TV station where they asked her, what do you do about house prices? And she said, I grew up middle class and people used to take care of their yards, which is just a fantastic answer. Then she had an interview with something that could not have been a more friendly group for her, the National Association of Black Journalists, and she got sideways with them on a couple of issues, and her answers were almost as nonsensical. I don't think she needs to do anything. Her entire campaign has been that she is not Donald Trump. Talking to every journalist on the planet does not change that. And that is her entire thing. Every time she talks, that is not completely scripted. It is not good. So just from a political standpoint, stop doing that. I mean, should she hide more? Because that's what it is. It's hiding.
Obviously. But also, I think some credit needs to be thrown to the National Association of Black Journalists. They have gotten the best interviews thus far of this campaign season. So good job to them.
But in both those interviews I mentioned, just remember the groups asking them, the reporter and the group of black journalists. How do I put this? They couldn't have made it any easier if she had sat on their laps and they combed her hair. I mean, I'm telling you, they gave her every opportunity to have a softball interview, and she's just like, me dumb.
But still flubbed it. Okay, so listen, though, what it comes down to is she has done very well, her team behind her, putting together good campaign speak. And
she even tried to deliver that speech to these people.
There's not policy behind it at this point, or plans necessarily. And if you remember, Trump kind of got tripped up on this too. Her campaign speak is actually better than his on a lot of these issues. You know, but when you go past that first line, that's where she stumbles.
She is far better on the stump because she's actually like, she can deliver what she needs to deliver. She can read the lines and stay on focus. Donald Trump, I don't know what they're saying to him in the prompter when he's talking, but it should be, get back on script, get back on script. Like that's what it should be. But she gets out there and delivers the lines.
Yes.
They're giving her, oh, she says the same thing in all these places. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to say, I love being here in Milwaukee.
Truly,
that's all you're supposed to do. It's how wrestlers cut promos too. All right, moving on. Let's have a conversation about this. This surprised me. When I saw this, I believe this is the first time that any Democrat in Alabama with a real chance of winning has ever said, I'm with Obama. I think it's the first. I can't think of another one. Now, there haven't been that many Democrats that have had chances of winning. Ron Sparks, maybe, if like a earthquake happened and Robert Bentley fell in a hole. Maybe Walt Maddox, if Kay Ivey, something happened to her, which they've been predicting for the last 10 years. Maybe. But none of them wanted to touch Obama. When Obama was president, they didn't want to touch Obama. In fact, Republicans were using Obama as a weapon for a decade. Becca, can you name a single time Shamari Figures has said, I'm with Obama, I'm his guy, I've been his guy forever? I'm not suggesting it's not bad. It's not good.
Brilliant.
In this district, it's smart. I'm just what I want to ask you before we get into that part. Can you name another one where this has happened?
I can't remember like this close like, hey, this I'm with Obama. Let me put that association
they almost always
together.
dismiss. It's like an attack line against them.
I wouldn't go that far.
I absolutely would.
Well,
they're with Obama. They're with Pelosi.
Obviously.
That's what I'm saying. They would say, okay, the Republicans would say, oh, they're with Obama. They're with Pelosi. They're this kind of stuff. But the Democrats were never like, I am with Obama. I am with Pelosi.
So did you explain that a campaign ad came out for Shamari Figures in the second congressional race, and that has actually been a fear of the Republicans.
It should be.
There's going to be this big rally. One of the Obamas is going to come and get out the vote. This race is going to come down to voter turnout.
Of course. I agree. I agree.
And that is a big get.
And Kamala Harris is now, in some polls, has net favorable ratings, which
absolutely.
is very strange.
But if you take all the polls into account, this race is still very close.
Very close. Here's my question: Is this? Why didn't he mention Obama?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Why didn't he mention Biden? He was in the Biden administration too.
Well, obviously Biden is not inspiring.
I'm just saying.
Like Obama, or even Harris, the bump that he got from that.
He didn't mention him for a reason. So if I'm Caroline Dobson, what do I do? Biden. I just start pounding away on him for that. And
I don't know how effective that would be. I understand your reasoning. I just don't. I don't know if people would make that connection.
He didn't mention the sitting president for a reason.
I know.
Yeah, so she absolutely should. That'd be my advice to her if anyone was listening from that campaign. All right, moving on. Let's talk a little bit about this IVF story. We're back at this. We're in the exact same position we were before. Let me summarize it for you. Everyone loves IVF. The end. I mean, that's basically where we are. Everyone loves it. Nobody's trying to end it. It's not illegal in any state, but we're looking for like some sort of made-up solution to a made-up problem. The Republicans say, hey, if you don't do IVF, we're going to take away federal dollars, but you can't force medical workers to participate in the process. The Democrats say, we're going to go ahead and do something very similar, but if you're a medical worker and you won't do it, then you should be fired. That's essentially the gist of the issue here. It's medical freedom versus forcing someone. It's the same issue you kind of have on
federal funding was involved.
On the Democrat side?
Yeah.
Or are they calling for it too? Okay, so same thing. You basically have the same issue, only one wants to protect medical freedom, or religious freedom, and the other doesn't. There's also some ties to abortion that they've tried to put in there on the end. If they wanted an actual solution, they could have one. But it looks like Democrats are wedded to this so they can say reproductive freedom.
Yes.
Because it's a lot better than going, God, I love abortion. I mean, and so they're really able to say it's not just about abortion
Why
anymore.
do you think they keep bringing this up, IVF
That's
up? Because it is an effective message. It is a very strong campaign message. They don't want this issue to go away.
Oh, of course not, because it's not about reproductive health. You can't make the argument. I had someone tell me, someone I respect and actually love very much, told me, I've had teachers come up to me and tell me, this kid, nobody wants him. I'm like, so they should be dead? I'm like, what in the world are you telling me? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
What does that even have to? What?
Because abortions were not as available. That was the argument they make, and I think it's an insane thing to say.
Okay.
But Becca, the reason I say it that way is because if people talked about it that way, people would be like, "What in the world are you actually saying?"
I get that. I was trying to connect the dots.
Right.
And with you, that's challenging.
So the reproductive health side of this is so important to Democrats because they want to be able to say it's not just about abortion, and this gives them that opportunity.
Well, exactly, and we have to talk about, again, because it's not talked about enough, Katie Britt has been very forward-facing on this issue.
She's got the other bill. The one that,
but, to support families and protect IVF. And obviously, Trump has come out numerous times saying he's in favor of IVF as well. More babies.
And he wants the government to pay for it.
Yeah, no, he does, exactly. But,
it makes no sense. It's like saying Project 2025. If you're talking about it and you're saying those things, you're lying. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. You're just openly lying if you're saying Republicans are against IVF. In the most conservative state socially in the nation, the Alabama legislature, got together and said, IVF, sure. We'll pass laws that protect this. And that immediately happened. And they're still like, they want to take it away. When no one is saying that. Who wants to take it away?
Are you talking about Alabama? Because it still needs a permanent fix.
They got to fix.
Okay.
Immediately. Maybe it needs a permanent fix. But give me a name of someone that wants to take it away.
Oh, we argue about this all the time. Do you want to have this argument? There is a very vocal contingent.
Right. Give me a name. The reason why I ask it is the reason why I ask it. I don't know a name either. Well, my point is
I know names of politicians who are listening to these groups.
Okay, again, name a politician. And I'm not asking you this. I'm just saying in general. Name a politician who's like the anti-IVF guy.
Oh, no, okay.
Right. Nope. So it's just like that. They have a voice in the sense that they exist. What they're saying doesn't matter. IVF is going to be protected. Mecca Music here with us, Dale Jackson. Thank you very much. Yaffee will be with us here in just a very quick second. So stay tuned to Alabama Politics This Week.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 877-744-0750. That's 877-744-0750. 877-744-0750.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Music. And our guest this week is Yaffee from the Yaffee program on WVNN in North Alabama, 9 to 11 a.m. You can also read him at yellowhammernews.com. Yaffee, thank you very much for joining us here. Look, this Trump thing is like the biggest story, obviously. His life has been put at risk yet again, an assassination attempt. I'm going to ask you a question here that I just want you to think about before you answer it. What are the chances in your mind, on what percentage numbers, that someone tries to kill him again and that they're successful?
I think I'm going to say 99% chance someone tries to do it again. In terms of successful, I don't even want to think about that, but it seems like it's 25 to 50% chance. I'm hoping that Secret Service security is going to be upped even more so it can't happen. But it's very worrisome where we are in the country right now.
You know, we have these conversations all the time, and the conversations are generally like, I can't believe that Donald Trump said this about this person. He's putting them at risk. He's talking about people eating cats, and he's putting people at risk, and he's doing all these things. And then when stuff like this happens, Republicans say that because like they're looking at bullets flying and guns being pointed out of fences and stuff. And the media and the Democrats are like, yeah, but he is a threat to democracy, so we have to keep saying that. I mean, that's essentially what was said by Karine Jean-Pierre this week.
Can I ask a real question?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hold on. No, don't
you
do
were
that.
getting to it.
No, hold on. I thought you were joking. But listen,
no.
Yaffee, here's the question. Are they ever going to stop doing this? How many more attempts do we need?
I will say that Kamala Harris's campaign has shifted a little bit from where Biden's was. She's running more on hope and change and trying to be like Obama. But if you're talking about the mainstream media and the average Democrat, they're not going to stop. It's not going to stop. This is the reality of political rhetoric in this country right now, especially surrounding Trump. I don't expect it to go away at all.
Okay, Yaffee, let's go back to this protection, and obviously more needs to be done. What do you believe needs to be done to keep Trump safe during this campaign?
I mean, that's a really good question. I don't have all the answers. I'm not a security expert. All I have to do is, one, you have to match what the president's getting in terms of security. And some people say, no, you can't do that with a candidate. I think you can. And if they don't have enough resources within Secret Service to do this, they need to get resources from other departments, whether it's the Army, other branches of the military, whatever, Department of Homeland Security, like Tuberville said. If that's what needs to be done, then it should be done.
Yeah, I think you take those guys and maybe make them his immediate physical security, and then you broaden the intelligence operation surrounding him. And that's probably the way to do it. You talked about Obama, so let's go back to that here real quick. Yeah, you've lived in Alabama for a while, and we were talking about this before. I've never seen in all my time here Obama mentioned positively in a Democrat's campaign ad. Shamari Figures is using him in a television ad. You're going to see him in print. Mecca suggested this farcical situation that I think is amazing. I hope it happens. I actually don't, because I think it will be successful.
It would be very successful. That a rally right before the vote where one of the Obamas, Michelle or Barack, come in and shore up the vote
for a House race. I don't know. I think it's just for a House race. I think those resources would be better used somewhere else. But what do you think about this? Is Obama's a rallying cry? I don't think people hate him like on the Republican side as much as they have. That's kind of simmered because he's gone away a lot. But in the 2nd Congressional District, drawn specifically for a black Democrat, I mean, come on, that's a pretty big get if they were to pull something like that off.
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if Obama was never mentioned in, Birmingham and Terry Sewell's district in the past. But most of Alabama, you're exactly right, and this is a pretty split district. So there's a couple different ways to look at it. One, you're right, Obama's not as offensive to Republicans as he used to be. But two, they just want to turn out votes, and they feel like Obama being mentioned and showing up could possibly turn out votes. But I think you make a really good point. The real issue is he's not mentioning Kamala Harris or Biden. It's more about Obama than the current candidate and the current president. That is an amazing story.
Yeah, I think you'll hear some Kamala mentioned down the line.
I mean, he did get a bump. There was certain polls have shown a significant bump in his race.
Does Biden ever get mentioned?
No. Yaffee?
Biden? No, I don't think so.
I was asking Yaffee, but yes.
Sorry.
That's great. That's great. All right, so there's that side of it. Go ahead, Becca.
No, go ahead.
Okay, the IVF stuff. This is something. You're about the most pro-life person I think I know that I deal with on a regular basis. We've talked about this, and kind of like there's no big name out there who's like on the anti-IVF side. I don't know if there is. Maybe you do, Yaffee. Why is this an issue if everyone agrees?
Because they want to connect it to abortion. It's a very cynical play. I mean, Kamala Harris put out an ad on social media, a video on social media, where she starts talking about IVF, protecting IVF, and then somehow transitions to abortion, reproductive rights, like it's the same thing. When it's not, it's like complete opposite things, but they just see it as an opportunity to connect it to women's health, as they call it, and that's been a winning issue for them recently in elections. So it's all about framing Republicans as against IVF. So they're putting out that's why they put out a bill they knew Republicans would vote against. They put poison pills in it, but they can use it to frame the narrative.
So, Yaffee, talking about this poison bills, talking about these measures, let's take the cynicalness that you have put forth a step further. Do you think Democrats are actively, they don't want this issue to go away so they can keep talking about it and keep connecting it all together with women's health and things like that? Will we see a resolution before the election?
Not before the election. I mean, a resolution would be to pass Katie Britt's bill on it, which they won't even bring to the floor. They're blocking it from coming to the floor because there's a possibility it could get 60 votes, and they don't want that. They don't want a resolution. So they killed that, then put forward a bill they know Republicans won't vote for because it's not about a resolution. And really, there doesn't need to be a big resolution. It's still legal in 50 states. It was a problem in Alabama. Republicans fixed it on the state level, so it's not even as big of an issue as they're making it.
I feel like Yaffee was listening to the first part of our program.
I feel like you'll ignore some important issues. Go ahead.
But okay, we'll come back to that. Yaffee, can you think of a single person who wants to end IVF?
Maybe a couple of conservative Catholic commentators out there.
Name one.
But nobody I know personally, no.
No, I don't mean name. Just give me a name.
Annie Beth Duckley, she's on the Blaze. I've heard her talk again.
Okay,
but
there
that's
we go.
like it.
There it is. So what issue are we missing, Mecca? Like you said, we're missing the pieces here. What are the issues?
Well, that the Alabama issue is going to come up again, and a permanent fix is still being worked on, and there is going to be a very loud debate about it yet again.
I don't think it's going to be very loud, but that is interesting.
We'll
we see it from different angles, and I think that's interesting. I just, in order for there to be a loud debate, I need to see like a state senator stand up and say, "No more IVF." I need that in order to have that conversation. Yaffee, on the immigration stuff, I'm going to talk about it here in the party shot. Baldwin County says, you guys seem to have forgotten about the Mexicans. They're still here in our area, and we'd like some help dealing with the police stuff.
That's what they said.
Essentially. I mean, that's generally what we don't have Haitians down in Mobile yet, or Baldwin County in the South yet. I'm not saying they're not going to come because we've heard that prediction this week. But they're basically saying, hey, have you forgotten all the other illegal immigration stuff we have, and the migrants and the police and all the other stuff, the resources, schools in particular? They said, give us some money. Now, if they start making that case and the legislature goes, we're listening, there's going to be a lot of other people who say, Sylacauga here. Albertville, yes, us too, please. Do you see any of that coming out?
Yeah, I definitely do. It just shows the problem, though, with the border crisis, the point where states are going to have to deal with it. And if it really is that big of a problem in some of these areas, it helps Trump's reelection. I know that Kamala Harris has been kind of campaigning that she's strong on the border now, but if the average person goes in the voting booth and immigration is one of their top issues, I do not see them voting for Harris.
You got far away. You got far away from my actual question. Does the legislature scratch a check and send it down to Baldwin County?
I can see that happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think so.
Why do you not think so? Because there will be more asking
behind
them?
Because it will never stop.
Right.
It will never stop. And then you'll get into a thing like in California where they court some people coming so they can be like, look at our representation. We need more representation. We need more congressmen. And that's exactly what they do. And then they say, send us money. I don't think it stops. That's my take on it. All right, we got to get out of here. We're way long here. Yaffee, thank you very much for being here. Mecca Music is here with us as well, but she's out of here. So the show's going to get so much better. Thank you for listening and watching Alabama Politics this week.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. My friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
What if you could make a free phone call and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Right now, you could be paying as high as 20% interest. Your new interest rate could be reduced to as low as 2.48%. You can refinance any existing car loan or leased car and save money every month. Take 5 minutes of your time right now. Make this free phone call and learn how to save hundreds of dollars a year by refinancing your existing car loan.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics this week. I am Dale Jackson. Thank you very much for being here. We'll get to the parting shot here in just a moment. Before we do, though, let me remind you, yellowhammernews.com. Go to that website. Sign up for my email blast. The 7 things you should be talking about today. Every single day, Monday through Friday, goes out, and you'll know everything you should be talking about. There's also videos and columns and all sorts of other stuff there as well at yellowhammernews.com. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to that parting shot. My party shot this week is directed at every other municipality in the state of Alabama that thinks, hey, maybe we should try to court some of these people coming in from other places. Have you not seen the problems we're having generally everywhere? I've heard in the last week that there are potentially other hot spots in the state that we will be looking at. You've also heard guys like Tommy Tuberville say similar things, that there will be more coming and more resettlement happening. You've also heard people like Katie Britt and Tommy Tuberville, our senator, say we've got to end this program with the Cubans, the Haitians, the Nicaraguans, and the Venezuelans. That's where this program has originated from. But that is not going to happen until we have a new president. That is probably not going to happen. I'm not saying Kamala Harris might not stop this as well. So I think you could see that with either one once we have a new president at this point. But the reality is this problem is not going away anytime soon. And while on the local level, you are seeing a lot of people very angry, including the story out of Athens, where a city councilman wasn't following the rules of his own city with business licenses and things of that nature. That coming to light as well. You are seeing problems across the board, and welcoming more of this into these communities is probably going to become a bigger issue across the country and across the state, where it's starting to bubble up right here 40-something days before an election. So look to that story to continue to grow. Thank you very much for watching and listening to Alabama Politics this week. We'll talk to you soon.